Long before anyone told you how the world worked, you knew. Not through textbooks or formal education, but through an innate sensitivity to patterns and timing. As a child, you felt the quiet hum behind the ordinary. You noticed when things lined up too perfectly to be chance, when someone called just as you thought of them, or when your instincts warned you of something before it happened. These weren't tricks of the mind. They were glimpses of a reality far more intelligent than you were taught to believe. Back then you trusted the feeling. It was natural, unfiltered, pure. But over time, that trust was chipped away. Authority figures told you it was just your imagination. Teachers taught you to dismiss the unseen. Society favored facts, evidence and structure over intuition and inner knowing. You learned that only what could be measured or proven was valid. Slowly, you began to suppress the part of you that sensed beyond the obvious. The result? A slow forgetting, a quiet disconnection from the deeper rhythm of existence, a rhythm you once danced to without even trying. Yet, the messages never stopped coming. Even when you weren't looking, synchronicities continued to nudge you. Through repeating numbers, familiar faces in unexpected places, or phrases you heard multiple times from different mouths. These weren't random events. They were echoes of a higher order, clues from a universe that never gave up on you. Despite the noise of daily life, those patterns persisted, always waiting for you to notice them again. And when you do, something ancient stirs in you, something that remembers. Carl Jung called it synchronicity, the meaningful alignment of outer events with inner states, events that defy logical explanation, yet carry profound personal significance. To Jung, and to countless mystics, sages, and seekers before him, these were not coincidences. They were messages, doorways, glimpses into a hidden architecture beneath the surface of things. When synchronicities happen, you're not just observing the world, you're in conversation with it. Reclaiming this awareness is not about gaining something new. It's about returning to what was always yours, a way of seeing, a way of being. The world hasn't changed, your perception has. And now, you're being invited to remember what you already knew, to open your eyes to the invisible language of reality and step back into a dialogue that never truly ended. Once you begin to see synchronicities as more than chance, curiosity naturally deepens. How do these precise alignments emerge? What force arranges them with such elegant timing? Behind the veil of randomness lies an intricate structure, one that merges psychology, quantum science, and ancient metaphysics. It is not chaos that governs synchronicity, but an unseen framework of order, rhythm, and intention. Reality, it turns out, is not built like a machine. It flows like a song, and synchronicities are the chorus lines that echo what you carry within. Modern neuroscience offers a practical entry point into this mystery. Within the brain lies the reticular activating system, a bundle of nerves in the brainstem that filters the overwhelming data your senses absorb. Its function is simple, yet profound: to bring into awareness only what is deemed relevant to your conscious mind. That's why, after deciding to buy a certain car, you begin seeing that exact model everywhere. The world didn't change, your focus did. The same mechanism underlies the sudden increase in synchronicities when you begin looking for them. Attention doesn't just notice, it summons. But the mind's role is only part of the equation. Quantum physics stretches the boundary further. In the famous double-slit experiment, particles behave differently depending on whether they are observed, revealing that consciousness influences physical matter at the smallest level. Observation shapes outcome. Your presence, your awareness, actively participates in forming reality. This isn't metaphor. It's scientific observation that challenges everything the materialist worldview once held sacred. The implications are staggering. If thought alters matter, then intention can sculpt experience. And if that's true, then synchronicity isn't an interruption in the system. It is the system responding. Ancient traditions have long known what science is just beginning to rediscover. The Hermetic principle of vibration states that everything in existence, from stones to stars to thoughts, vibrates with energy. That vibration determines resonance. When your emotional state is tuned to fear, scarcity, or anxiety, your field attracts discordant experiences. But when gratitude, trust, or alignment fills your being, the universe reflects that harmony back. Synchronicities flourish in high vibrational states because they are born from resonance. They are confirmations of frequency, a sign that what you feel inside is harmonizing with the world outside. The subconscious mind also plays a silent but critical role. While the conscious mind navigates surface-level choices, the subconscious processes millions of inputs, weaving connections between thoughts, memories, and perceptions. When an intention is set, even briefly, the subconscious begins tracking possibilities, filtering paths, and aligning external experiences to reflect that desire. This is not magic, but design. It's how the unseen aligns with the seen. That moment when a book falls open to the exact page you needed, or when someone calls just as you think of them. Those are the echoes of a subconscious intelligence guiding reality, like an unseen hand sketching in sand. Together, these elements form the architecture behind synchronicity, a layered dance between perception, vibration, consciousness, and the unspoken intelligence of the universe. What appears to be coincidence is, upon closer inspection, an exquisite response, a feedback loop between your inner world and the outer unfolding of time. Once this is understood, randomness fades. Synchronicities stop feeling like accidents and begin to feel like confirmations. You're not just experiencing life anymore, you're communicating with it. Synchronicities rarely announce themselves with grand displays. More often, they wear the cloak of the ordinary, hiding in plain sight. The key to decoding them lies not in looking harder, but in learning to see differently. Patterns don't always shout, they whisper. A number repeated on receipts, license plates, and digital clocks. A phrase that keeps surfacing in conversations, books, or dreams. A familiar face showing up in an unexpected place. These are not accidents. They are breadcrumbs laid out with precision, asking you to pay attention. And if you do, meaning begins to rise from the mundane. Numbers are one of the universe's favorite languages. In ancient traditions, they were seen as more than quantities. They were archetypes of energy. Seeing 111 repeatedly, or any sequence like 222, 444, or 777, carries vibrational significance. Each combination whispers a different message. To the unconscious, they are easy to ignore, but to the attuned, they act like cosmic nudges. These numbers appear most often during periods of transition, heightened emotion, or deep questioning, aligning with moments when your energy is actively shifting. The key is to connect their appearance with your current state of mind, because the meaning isn't just in the sign, but in your interaction with it. Symbols and encounters also carry encoded meaning. A song playing at the exact moment you're wrestling with a decision. An animal crossing your path with traits that mirror your emotional state. A book randomly recommended that speaks directly to your hidden question. These signs carry resonance because they intersect with your inner world. They reveal the bridge between what you're thinking and what's appearing. Jung called this the causal connecting principle, where inner and outer realities mirror each other, not through cause and effect, but through alignment. In such moments, the external world bends toward your attention, delivering messages shaped by your internal frequency. Importantly, these signs are not one-size-fits-all. What holds significance for you may mean nothing to someone else. That's because synchronicities are deeply personal. The universe does not speak in generic terms. It speaks in symbols you understand. The same number might mean begin again to one person and pay attention to another. The language is tailored. The better you know yourself, the clearer the messages become. That's why practices like journaling, dream interpretation, and personal reflection sharpen your ability to decode synchronicities. The more you engage with the symbols, the more fluent you become in the dialogue. For those who remain close to mystery, these signs pass unnoticed, but for the receptive, reality becomes layered with meaning. Every moment becomes an opportunity for guidance. The question is never whether signs are appearing. The question is whether you're willing to see them. When you begin to look beyond the surface, the world stops being flat. It becomes textured, speaking not just in cause and effect, but in connection and correspondence. And the more you listen, the more the language reveals itself. When synchronicities begin to appear more frequently, it's not because the universe has suddenly changed, it's because something within you has shifted. The unseen engine behind this alignment is built from three powerful forces working in unison: belief, vibration, and motion. Belief is the lens that determines what you allow yourself to notice. Vibration is the signal you emit, drawing experiences of a similar frequency. Motion, or action, is the catalyst that multiplies the effect. Together, they form the inner mechanics of synchronicity, transforming random reality into a meaningful unfolding. Belief sets the foundation. Not belief in a doctrine or system, but belief in the possibility that life is more than coincidence. When you begin to suspect that events may be connected, that signs might carry meaning, you create space for the patterns to emerge. The subconscious responds to this mental shift by recalibrating your awareness, searching for resonance. And once the mind is open, the heart follows. With openness comes receptivity, and with receptivity, synchronicities find their way through. In contrast, skepticism shuts the door. The moment something is dismissed as meaningless, its message is lost. Vibration determines the quality and tone of what arrives. If your inner world is tuned to fear, lack, or resignation, the synchronicities that appear may reflect challenge or warning, still signs, but echoing your current state. On the other hand, when you shift into gratitude, clarity, or inner peace, you become magnetic to guidance. Synchronicities arrive not as interruptions, but as confirmations. They become affirmations that you're moving in rhythm with something larger. Meditation, mindfulness, and emotional awareness aren't just spiritual practices. They're tools for tuning your frequency to one that invites alignment. But it is motion, decisive, intentional action, that truly activates the full power of synchronicity. A sign observed is information. A sign acted upon is transformation. The universe speaks, but it also watches. When you respond to its guidance with movement, the dialogue deepens. You step into co-creation. Each small act of trust, making the call, taking the leap, changing direction, sends a signal back saying, "I'm listening." And when you listen, life responds. Doors open, encounters align, timing sharpens. You're no longer hoping things will change. You're walking the path that ensures they do. To truly harness the language of synchronicity, observation must become a way of life, not a fleeting curiosity, but a daily practice of conscious attention. The universe is constantly offering cues, yet without a receptive mind, they vanish like mist in sunlight. Cultivating awareness starts with slowing down. In the quiet spaces between thoughts and distractions, synchronicities emerge more clearly. Rushing through life blinds you to the subtle timing of events. Stillness, however, allows the unseen to rise into view. It's in the pause, the breath, the reflective gaze that symbols and meanings begin to crystallize. Recognizing synchronicities is only the first step. Understanding them requires reflection. One of the most effective tools is a synchronicity journal. Writing down each unusual encounter, repeated number, symbolic dream, or strange alignment begins to form a visible record of your inner dialogue with reality. Over time, patterns emerge. You may start noticing how certain numbers show up during emotional shifts, or how meaningful phrases echo during moments of uncertainty. What once seemed unrelated becomes coherent. The journal becomes a personal archive of cosmic conversation, a mirror of your evolving awareness. Journaling also strengthens your intuitive compass. Each time you document a synchronicity, you're telling your subconscious that these messages matter. This increases its sensitivity to similar events. You're, in effect, programming your inner radar to search for meaning, to seek guidance in the weave of daily life. The more consistent the practice, the more fluent you become in interpreting the signs. It's not about superstition, it's about establishing communication. Like learning any new language, consistency and engagement shape fluency. But awareness without inquiry remains shallow. When a synchronicity appears, ask, what was I just thinking about? What decision am I wrestling with? What emotion was I holding? What does this symbol mean to me personally? Don't settle for general interpretations. Anchor the meaning in your own experience. The message is encoded specifically for you, shaped by your beliefs, questions, and emotional state. The universe doesn't speak in absolutes. It speaks in personalized resonance, whispering directly to your unique state of being. More important than decoding, however, is living the guidance. Observing signs without action turns synchronicity into entertainment rather than transformation. When a clear pattern emerges, when a sign repeats, when alignment sharpens, when intuition swells, it's time to move. Make the decision. Start the project. Reach out to that person. The sign is a key, but it doesn't open the door unless you turn it. Those who act on synchronicities often report a cascade of further alignments, as if reality rewards their participation by amplifying the flow. The message grows louder for the one who responds. There's a rhythm to all of it. Notice, reflect, act, and notice again. Like a dance, each step feeds the next. The universe is not only responsive, it is recursive. Every time you engage with its signs, it engages with you in return. Over time, life stops feeling random and begins to feel orchestrated. The ordinary becomes enchanted. You realize that you were never alone in your journey. There was always a hidden hand guiding your steps, waiting for you to open your eyes and walk in step with its timing. Listening leads to logging. Logging leads to living. And living, in harmony with the signs, leads to transformation. Living in alignment with synchronicity is not about passively waiting for the universe to deliver signs. It's about stepping into your role as an active participant in the creation of your life. Co-creation begins with intention. Clear, conscious intention sends out a vibrational request into the field of reality. It doesn't require force or manipulation, only clarity. When your thoughts, desires, and inner vision align, reality begins to organize itself in response. You are not a bystander in the unfolding of your path. You are a signal tower, transmitting direction and receiving guidance. Setting intention is not about rigid control, but about focused openness. Asking for signs is an ancient practice, rooted in trust. The mystics, shamans, and sages of old would consult nature, dreams, or sacred rituals for confirmation of their path. You can do the same, simply and directly. Show me the next step. Reveal what I need to see. Guide me to what's aligned. The universe doesn't always answer with words. It responds through moments, patterns, and encounters. The answers may not appear in the form you expect, but they will appear in the form you need. Yet, the most powerful shift occurs when intention is followed by vibrational alignment. Your emotional state, your energy, your belief systems, all of these influence what you allow into your field. Fear tightens the lens of perception. Trust expands it. The universe responds to openness. When you approach life with receptivity and presence, you create fertile ground for synchronicities to emerge. Practices like meditation, visualization, and gratitude aren't just wellness tools. They are methods of spiritual calibration. They help you vibrate at a level where meaningful alignments can occur effortlessly. But none of this matters without action. Seeing signs and receiving guidance is only half the equation. The other half is your willingness to follow through. A doorway can open, but it will never be crossed unless you step through it. Synchronicity is the universe extending its hand. Co-creation happens when you take it. Each time you move with the current, instead of against it, you build momentum. One aligned action sends a ripple through your entire timeline. Life begins to feel less like a struggle and more like a rhythm, one you were always meant to dance to.